Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. I'm Shamela Pullen. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Expect disruptions at public health facilities. Medical consultants on sick out. Portmore residents again protest parish status. And later in sports, Reggae Girls defeats Peru in first of two friendlies. Now the details. The ongoing protests over Portmore becoming the 15th parish has seemingly reached fever pitch. This after scores of residents flocked Dawkins Drive in the municipality this morning to vent their frustration over the matter. Kelisha Williams was there.
From as early as 5:30 this morning, dozens of protesters have lined Dawkins Drive in Portmore, St. Catherine. Now, it's the latest in a series of protests over Portmore becoming the 15th parish since it was passed in Parliament a few weeks ago. As for why they're here this morning, this is what some of the protesters had to say. Municipality! Municipality! What was the road they mash up over here? Come fix the road them over here. We don't want no parish over here. Now, most of the concerns surrounded potential boundary changes as well as from property owners who were concerned about issues relating to how they pay property taxes in St. Catherine and what will happen when Portmore becomes the 15th parish.
Because we don't want no parish in Portmore. We will ever tell our kids. We can't tell them, say, we used to have 14 and now we have 15. Oh, we are going to put in.
Why though? Why is that so difficult to do?
Because, all right, people with them house, them have to go change title.
At this time, we need some more consultation on how we're going to be beneficial from this parish things.
Now, as you can see, things are slowly winding down now, and I'll have more on the protest in primetime news this evening at 7. Reporting from Portmore in St. Catherine, I'm Kelisha Williams for TVJ News.
Disruption is expected at the University of Technology Monday as non-academic staff are following through on their threat to stage industrial action. This is over outstanding payments under the almost 3-year-old compensation system. Karen Simpson reports.
On Friday, President of the University of Technology Jamaica Administrative Staff Association, UTASA, Janet Grayson, says she was advised of a March implementation timeline for the new salaries under the compensation review. This following a meeting with University President Kevin Brown. However, it still remains unclear when retroactive payments will be made. UTASA further notes that efforts to have dialogue with the Ministries of Finance and the Ministry of Education for an explanation also failed. As a result, the management was served a notice of impending action.
We are here trying to bring attention to our situation at UTech. The Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Finance have not responded to our timeline, our request for a timeline for a pay date to pay our retroactive payment for our government compensation review, salary implementation.
According to Ms. Grayson, the association will not relent until it gets a favorable outcome.
We plan to protest today for the entire day. And if our demands are not met, we will continue into the week until we get a reasonable timeline as to when the monies will be paid over to the staff.
She contends that adjustments have already been made for another group at the university and claims the workers UTASA represents are being treated unfairly. It is why she's making this appeal to the government.
We are making an appeal by asking a question. The government compensation review spans over 3 years. We need to know if it is something that we have not done that would cause us not to be placed on a timeline by the government to be paid.
Carrie Ann Simpson, TVJ News.
Clinical services at public hospitals, including the University Hospital of the West Indies, are expected to be disrupted today. This is due to a sickout by medical consultants. They are protesting the delay in payment of retroactive salaries.
Having shared with the consultants the response from the Minister of Finance last week, the members had voted that that response was inadequate, it was non-committal, and extended the period for potential payment of the retroactive salaries too far into the next financial year. As a result of that, many of the consultants expressed a feeling of being emotionally exhausted with this protracted negotiation that has been going on, and several of them have decided that I think it's time to take a break, a step back, and reevaluate.
Dr. Smith says the association warned last week that normal services couldn't be guaranteed if the Ministry of Finance doesn't review its payment offer.
That on January 24th, based on the utterances in Parliament, we were hearing what we thought was an assurance that money had been set aside to complete the payments for several persons in the health sector, and the doctors, the consultants, were mentioned by name as one of the groups that would have been settled with this additional funds. So when we're hearing now that the funds are not there, it causes persons to wonder, so is it that the funds are allocated to us and then moved at the last minute for something else, which would have been unfair, considering that we are the only group that has not yet been paid our retroactive salary.
Meanwhile, junior doctors are showing solidarity with medical consultants.
Today we are wearing black to show our support for their cause. The Ministry of Finance and Public Service has been disingenuous in its treatment of both groups. As doctors, we are not asking for more money. We are simply asking for the Ministry of Labor, the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Health to simply pay us what they owe us. The JMD and the AJMC are two different unions, but we're one profession. And if you have done injustice to one, you haven't done injustice to all.
Jamaica's Information Commissioner Celia Barkley has issued a stern warning to data controllers, emphasizing their critical role in safeguarding personal information. Ms. Barkley was speaking at the 2025 Data Privacy Conference recently. Cybercrime is a global problem, with approximately 88.5 million people falling victim each year. Jamaica's Information Commissioner Celia Barkley says the financial losses are staggering, with victims worldwide losing between $25 and $45 billion in 2023. She says Jamaica is particularly vulnerable and many cases are often not reported.
We are part of the Latin American and Caribbean region, LAC, identified as the least protected region, in which there are gaps in cybersecurity capacity due to, among other things, a rapid post-pandemic digitalization. Researchers project that by 2025, victim loss due to cybercrime, which is dependent on data, personal data, will skyrocket to $10.5 trillion globally.
While there are breaches, she is encouraging victims to seek redress through the courts under the Data Protection Act.
Data controllers must make best efforts to uphold and facilitate data subjects in the exercise of rights under the Data Protection Act. While our enforcement provisions have for the most part not yet been given effect, the Act in no way limited or removed a data subject's recourse to civil proceedings for redress. Thus, a data controller who fails to uphold data subjects' rights under the Act could find themselves subject to suit.
She says the judiciary must stand ready to receive claims and applications by data subjects and to overcome their own challenges in adjudication of data protection matters.
In other countries that have fully implemented data protection laws and regulations, Courts have encountered their own challenges in deciding cases related to the exercise of data subject rights. Among these challenges are interpreting highly technical and ever-evolving data protection laws and regulations, assessing appropriate remedies and/or determining liability for material and non-material harm, and how same can be allocated or shared between multiple controllers.
Under the Cybercrimes Act, sanctions include fines for the misuse of computer systems or data of up to $3 million and maximum prison sentence of 3 years. Under the Data Protection Act, companies found in violation can face fines equivalent to up to 4% of their annual gross worldwide turnover. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News. Amid concerns about labor shortage in the tourism sector, the government says it's using a multi-ministry approach to tackle the issue. At the same time, the tourism ministry says it is also focusing on training. Details in this report.
On Wednesday, ground was broken for the 950-room expansion project at the Grand Palladium Hotel in Hanover. Just last month, the Princess Grand Hotel was officially opened. For the government, these signs are clear indicators.
Your commitment to expanding your footprint here is a testament to the strength of our partnership and the boundless potential of our nation.
Amid the recent investments in the tourism sector, however, is the issue of labor shortage, and the tourism sector has not escaped it. With more expansion projects and new hotels to be constructed, some have questioned Jamaica's ability to fill vacant posts in the sector.
One of the discussions we had with the Spanish hotel owners in Spain and also our local hotel owners is that we need to ramp up training more significantly. But of course, a number of people are also getting opportunities in other sectors, here and overseas, for better salaries and so on. So it's creating a challenge and a true crunch on the industry. The Jamaica Center for Tourism Innovation last year certified just over 3,300 Jamaicans. We also have a high school program spread across about 16 high schools where we had about 330 plus students there getting hospitality and tourism training. And eventually these people will come out and augment the system.
In other sectors like health, the government has been recruiting from overseas to fill the nursing vacancies, but the health minister insisted locals will be engaged first before inviting others to come in.
We are communicating with the Ministry of Labour also to see how best we can augment the challenges even in a temporary way until we can figure out the long-term solutions to get more people into the sector. One of the good things is that a number of the workers or potential workers in the industry are seeing the opportunities for increased salaries, increased flexibility, increased allowances, and increased support for them to handle some of their expenses so that it's easier for them to work in the industry. So we're continuing to press on that.
Sandy Williams, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Caribbean Maritime University CMU has officially launched its Logistics and Supply Chain Management Training Initiative. The university says this will be a groundbreaking program designed to strengthen the country's logistic industry. This initiative is being developed in conjunction with the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority, Tourism Announcement Fund, Development Bank of Jamaica, and JAMPRO. Further afield, Con Edison's proposal double-digit rate hikes on electricity and natural gas for New Yorkers is getting pushed back from elected officials. The utility company says the proposed hikes will fund clean energy and upgrades to infrastructure. The hikes would still need to be approved by the state's Department of Public Service. Earlier this week, several members of the New York congressional delegation also submitted a letter to the agency urging them to reject the proposal. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has also previously called for the proposal to be rejected. For the Business Minute, I'm Carrie-Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
in the region. A policeman in St. Lucia is under investigation for the disappearance of an M16 rifle. The officer was detained last weekend and is assisting with the probe. The investigation is in its early stages, with Police Commissioner Vern Gard assuring the public that the force opposes corruption and will take necessary actions to ensure officers follow the law. On the international scene, an American Airlines flight AA292 en route from New York to Delhi, India, was diverted to Rome due to a potential security concern. The Italian Air Force sent 2 jets to escort the plane. After landing safely, law enforcement cleared the aircraft, confirming the issue was non-credible. The flight is to continue to Delhi today. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Antonia Atkinson, TVJ News.
We take another break. Don't go away. Sports is next.